Do you know what is so brilliant about two parties and two medias? Well, if I were at a Starbucks and somehow a problem for needing phone energy, despite my loyal customership on a constant basis, whether or not I was one that day, in order to recollect a reasonability over the matter if gone too far or cops had to be called, due to something under which I would have easily exited if given instructions. The circumstance where I'd need CNN to report why this was inhumane, and then I would need to report to Fox how to lynch me as a degenerate, scary vagrant in a capitalist musical chairs under which nobody is evaluating a secret premise unto trafficking methodology through digital networks and intimidation methods of the intelligence groups working with assets all over the street. This is why I love international news. It really opens your eyes up to variable interests. But when we have a two-party judicial construct like our media, which is so utterly free, naturally, we have to really think deeper into what it is we want out of the truth. Do we want to fight each other deliberately, ignorantly, never-endingly? Or do we want to address from a social principle, as I did in social work school, how to address these matters? It's hard to discover what the answer really is, but this principle is why I think the last derivative answer never processes for you, because it makes you recognize you have to mature, grow up, and be proactive adults and parents in a scheme you have left an economic screw-up to leave us into clearly and non-mathematically, rationally humane equation, deliberately hosting communism, socialism, and capitalism behind your leadership's rivalry, when clearly it's just about the minimum wage and maintaining the expectations of the hourly structure since the socialist takeover, which led to the First World War, which my grandfather fought in, came with a family descendants from England in the 1600s, where we still have mason stones and gravestones, where my grandfather, a post-revolutionary German immigrant who kicked Hitler's ass working together with celebrities to host secret operations to get information throughout Europe. A bizarre kind of circumstance. Ultimately, when you cannot resolute the fact you have to do something critical instead of continue an intelligence operation or a debate, no one can ever really get anywhere until we are deliberately and publicly, flagrantly open discussion. Not in institutional houses with 5G phones, in social forums, platforming conversation everywhere, instead of allowing people to conducively mind cuff you into one side or the other. Now, in America, we have done the fMRIs, as one was done on mine in George Washington Institute for my dyslexia. We are all half-brained due to the two-party system. In fact, it has enslaved one side of our mind, the right or the left, to become only rejuvenable in principal practice. I know it sounds like I'm making this up. It's dead true. I can't say it's because of the political scheme, but obviously if you look at how a yin-yang implicates the duo core, psychologically, since everything we've learned and know today, if you cannot independently become part of an independent swing state in your mind, you will not actually fundamentally build the cognitive muscle to work out these electrical synapses in your mind, making you a half-brained robot with ostracized independence independence being cast out by a benign enslavement of right and left lobes, formatting themselves on a stage without a third party when just above you, you have 5 competing major parties to give very unique and different solutions, validating a liberal cause and for going green instead of stopping racism, which I'm pretty sure we actually already did. It just works 2 ways now, unfortunately, for the entire body. I don't know how this all works. I don't know how it all manifests itself. But if you keep coming to me without saluting what you know you've done, obviously I'm going to stay the Elion, and I'm going to have to validate with dictatorial rule the insanity under which you placed my international position of victimization through. Clearly, you cannot afford my deposition. I have proven this. If you cannot afford it, you are not a democracy. Goodbye.